I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and to see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. Henry David Thoreau.
She is America's most mountainous state, and its driest, one of its least populated, and fastest growing. She is Nevada, snow-capped and sun-baked, home to legalized gambling and the Comstock Lode. Yet some of the Silver State's greatest riches lie outside the neon shadows of her cities, and some of her most dazzling slots are miles from Glitter Gulch. From the rugged limestone peaks and canyons of the Mormon and Muddy Mountains in the south, to the deep glaciated stillness of Blue Lakes and the pioneer sites of High Rock Canyon in Nevada's historic northwest. From the ancient bristlecone groves of Maury Peak, the limestone recesses of Leviathan Cave, and the cool waters of Kawitch's Bell Helen Lake in Nevada's desolate heartland, to the white water of the Owyhee River and the red cliffs of the Bluebell region in eastern Nevada. These are Nevada's hidden treasures, her public wilderness areas.
Here are the long, heavy winds and breathless calms, where dust devils dance, whirling into a wide, pale sky. Here, you have no rain when all the earth cries for it, or quick downpours called cloudburst for violence. A land of lost rivers with little in it to love, yet a land that once visited must be come back to inevitably. Mary Austin.
Here are some of the most remote, least visited, strangest landscapes in the country. I think it is wilderness at its best. Steve Smith.
Here you'll find countless peaks and valleys, deserts and lakes, wildlife and wildflowers, and the stillness of the vast basin and range.
Silence, a great spatial silence, is pure in the basin and range. It is a soundless immensity with mountains in it. You hold your breath and hear absolutely nothing. No rustling of leaves in the wind, no rumbling of distant traffic, no chatter of birds or insects or children. You're alone with God in that silence. John McPhee.
Here is a haven where you can take a hike, take a picture, or just take a nap.
Climb the mountains and get their glad tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. John Muir.
Wilderness, a place you can hunt, fish, ski, or ride the purple sage, where you can rejuvenate the body and renew the spirit.
How easily we might walk onward into the opening landscape, until by degrees the recollection of home was crowded out of the mind, and we were led in triumph by nature. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Wilderness. The word itself is music, suggesting the past and the unknown, the womb of the earth from which we all emerged. It means something lost and something still present, something remote and at the same time intimate, something buried in our blood and nerves, something beyond us and without limit. Edward Abbey.
The most materialistic of historians do not deny the influence upon a people of the land on which they live. The idea of a frontier took its place in the American imagination and sparked the sense that there was somewhere else to go. Joseph Wood Crutch.
Of course, today there are no frontiers to conquer, and the modern American must turn to wilderness to find somewhere else to go. Thus, in 1964, Congress passed the Wilderness Act to assure that an increasing population does not occupy and modify all areas within the United States and its possessions, leaving no lands designated for preservation and protection in their natural condition. It is the policy of the Congress to secure for the American people of present and future generations the benefits of an enduring resource of wilderness. With these words, Congress established a process by which federal lands could be protected. First, the Act defined wilderness. In contrast with those areas where man and his own works dominate the landscape, a wilderness is an area where the earth and its community of life are untrammeled by man, where man himself is a visitor who does not remain. Wilderness has outstanding opportunities for solitude or primitive and unconfined recreation, has at least 5,000 acres, and may contain ecological, geological, or other features of scientific, educational, scenic, or historic value. Then, Congress set in motion a system whereby wild lands could be studied and identified as suitable for protection. To date, this includes only 1% of Nevada's public lands. But much more needs to be done. In the words of Robert Marshall, wilderness is disappearing like a snowbank in the hot August sun. And while Nevada has more public domain land than any other state except Alaska, we have the least designated wilderness of any western state. Within the Silver State alone, the Bureau of Land Management has identified over 100 areas that meet the criteria for preservation as wilderness. Representing just 10% of Nevada's BLM lands, these areas, called Wilderness Study Areas, are currently managed as wilderness, but cannot be permanently protected without legislative action by Congress. Unless we act soon to protect these hidden treasures, we stand to lose them forever.
Wilderness is the personality of the land, the collective harmony of its soil, life, and weather. Aldo Leopold.
That's why Friends of Nevada Wilderness, along with other concerned groups, are working to preserve the most magnificent of Nevada's unique public areas. wilderness provides refuge for endangered animal and plant species, protects vital watersheds to ensure a high-quality water supply for life in and out of wilderness areas, and provides much-needed inspiration for the American psyche.
As the nation becomes more populated and open spaces more difficult to find, the once intimidating expanse of Nevada has come to signify freedom. Hal Rothman.
Its existence can change your reality, your awareness of options. Always you know you can retreat to such a place, a possibility that opens up the frontiers of consciousness. Stephen Tremble.
In wilderness is the salvation of variety, diversity, possibility, and potentiality, the preservation of the genetic reservoir, the answers to questions which we have not yet even learned to ask, a connection to the origin of things, an opening into the future, a source of sanity for the present. Why wilderness? Because we like the taste of freedom, because we like the smell of danger. Edward Abbey.
Pristine forever, now and for the unborn, let us keep these miracles, these splendors. Pristine forever, these sources of man's spirit, symbols of his goals, landscapes eternally of freedom. Pristine forever, our ancient basic right to know through every sense of body, mind, heart, reaching from finite to the infinite. Through every note and modulation of this instrument we for a time inhabit, the great experience that is matrix of all others. Nancy Newhall.
What can you do to help? Nevada's public land is your land. Visit it. For, in the words of Edward Abbey, come on in. The earth, like the sun, belongs to everyone and to no one. Learn about Nevada's hidden treasure. Talk about it. Write about it. Care about it. And keep it forever wild.
There's a magic in the air that I feel when I am there. It plays straight to my heart and lays it all to bare. It's in the cry of the eagle and the deer so meek and mild. It's in the rise of a mountain, let it stay forever wild. Forever wild, forever wild, let it stay forever wild. It's in all that is not tame, and some that can't be named. It's in the fog down in the valley, and the scent of summer rain. It's in the scream of a lion when she's sounding like a child. It's in the song of the river, let it stay forever wild. Forever wild, forever wild, let it stay forever wild. Now the earth that holds the key to all that shall be free, it's in the peace of the desert and the wisdom of the trees. It's in the grace of a swan's wing and the grizzly when he's riled. It's in all the love I bear it, let it stay forever wild. Forever wild, forever wild, let it stay forever wild. There are those of my own kind, they're running fast but going blind, and the only thing they worship Is our God the dollar sign? We must fight them with our spirit, with our might and with our guile. We must show them not the answer. It must be forever wild, forever wild, forever wild. Let it stay